Hey everybody, Jacob here from the Formula Drift podcast. We have an awesome deal for you. So if you head over to shopfd.com and use coupon code podcast23, you're going to save 20% on any merch. So anything you can find on that website, use podcast23 at shopfd.com. Save yourself 20%. Hats, shirts, lanyards, whatever. Just use the code. Save yourself some money. So,
all right, what's going on, everybody?
Don't stop listening. Wait till the show's done. But then
to
head
the
over
Outerzone, the official podcast of Formula Drift.
23.
Today we have
see you guys out there.
The big winner from ProSpec in New Jersey, Cole Richards. What's going on, dude?
What's up?
Not much, man. Not much. How are you doing?
Not too bad. It's going.
No? Did you get caught up in any of like the weird flight stuff coming out of New Jersey? I heard a bunch of people had flights canceled.
All of my crew guys got home kind of before that even happened, and then I drove back.
Okay.
So it's pretty much good.
Nice. How long was that drive?
It was about 13 or so hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, I can do it in like 8. And it's like, you can, but not in a rig. Rig is a very different beast.
No, 40-foot trailer. Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's a little different. What route do you end up taking from New Jersey down?
I took the same way up and down. I think I took 81 up, and it was pretty nice.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I've done the drive from basically Detroit down to Atlanta a few times now, and like I'll always try and take a different way. Like sometimes go through the mountains, sometimes go around them. Like mountains are nice, except for like the most of the time when there's an accident and you're like stuck on a grade.
Yeah, I try and just stick to the highways, especially with a trailer. It's not fun getting stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. Did you have any blowouts or anything, or everything go pretty well?
Knock on wood, I haven't had anything happen to this trailer. And I bought it like 2 weeks before I went to California to train with Taka and Yoshi at Drift School USA. So I didn't even look at the trailer. I just bought it sight on scene. It's been perfect.
Were you, was that when you were ripping the 86 around? Was that you driving that?
When?
It was a while ago. I think, it might have been a couple of years ago. I thought it was up at Willow.
His white 86 or the FRS 86?
Oh, sorry. Like AE86. My bad. I realized that, that was not specific.
Yeah. I started with Taka and Yoshi in about August of 21, and he started me with his white AE86, and I was just driving that, doing little donuts and figure eights.
I think, honestly, like anybody getting into drifting should start at least with like a short wheelbase car, because I feel like you can learn so much from it.
Yeah. Low horsepower, no wheelbase. It's best of both worlds. And it's still super fun to drive, which, I don't know, that's a hot take, I think. Low horsepower phones.
But that they're fun to drive?
Yeah, E86s, Miatas, they're fun to drive, but I don't think no one likes to drive them.
I mean, they're just twitchy and kind of like a handful, right? Like they bite back really quick.
Yeah, you have to just commit for everything. And I think it's so much fun.
Yeah. Did you ever drift your Miata?
I never actually took it to a drift event. I did a little, skids here and there, but I never took it to a actual drift event. I wish I did.
Okay, yeah, the usual parking lot shenanigans stuff.
Yeah,
no, that's fair. Yeah, they're the same thing, very similar to the AE86, like just low power. Although, I mean, you did have a decent sized turbo on that one, so
it only made like 120 horsepower.
That's all you need, man. I will say that the paint scheme was pretty sick on that, though.
Yeah, that was definitely a jump, because no one liked that color combo, especially with the green and the purple color change. And then I put the bronze rims on it, and everyone started freaking out about it.
That's what set it off, was just having bronze wheels. Huh. It's weird how like that one thing ties it in. Because like really, if you're going like, green and purple, I'm not a color master by any means. Nobody respects my style, but like I wouldn't think that bronze would really make that pop off. But I guess there's kind of like a bronze undertone to it.
Yeah.
Like on the actual paint itself, right?
Yeah, you either loved the car or you hated it. And a lot of people loved it.
Well, I did see that most Hurricanes weren't a giant fan of it. So
Yeah. Hurricane, I think it was Hurricane Ian. It was the one with the yellow P1 that floated around. It was that hurricane.
Mhm.
That was about like 30 minutes from my house in Florida.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So what I guess like what all happened with that? Like were you in Florida at the time or were you
So
up in Georgia?
I was up in Georgia. My dad's house and his business is in Florida, and everything just got ruined. Like there was 6 feet of water everywhere.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was
Welcome to
wild.
Naples, right?
Yeah. Basically.
That sucks. Did you do decently on insurance with that? Like did that help with anything else?
No, they really just told us to goof off, basically. Insurance didn't really cover anything.
Yeah, I would assume getting like flood damage in Naples is probably not the easiest thing in the world.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I would assume most places are not going to have that as a regular line item.
Yeah.
But, do you spend much time in Florida now, or do you like kind of split between the two?
Mostly I'm just in my shop up in Georgia. Ron Eworth is based in Georgia as well, so I'm kind of here with the drift cars and him.
Right. Because you test drove, I mean, we're basically going right into the GT86 now. Is it a Scion badged or is it an actual Toyota badge? You know what the VIN is?
It's weird because it's 2 chassis kind of put into one. It's weird. So it's like a BRZ and an FRS combined into one when he built the car back in the day.
Gotcha. Because he had that for a while before you were into it. It'd be a couple of years before you got into it, right?
Yeah, he built that car in 2014. I think it was him and Dai Yoshihara. I can't pronounce names, but I think they were the first 2 people to build the FRS.
Yeah, I'm
something like that.
Fairly certain. Yeah, it was like the blue Turn 14 one that Dai was running.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember like that was a very, very new chassis, and then to see somebody kind of almost immediately pull the engine out, throw, a big LS in it and be like, okay, cool. This is what it is now.
Yep. That's his style.
Yeah. And it stayed black pretty much since day one, right?
Yeah. It's always been black. I think the 2 chassis were both red, but then he just sprayed it black and it's been black ever since.
Okay. So how'd you get tied in with him? Like what's that story?
So I kind of progressed through Taka and Yoshi's program fairly quickly, and I kind of decided I needed my own car. So really long story short, my mom was getting tires for her Jeep at a local place in Georgia, and they got to talking about me and drifting, and I'm just getting started. And they actually knew Ron Eworth from him taking tires to them and getting mounted, balanced, all of that. So the people at the tire store just gave away Ron's address to my mom, and my mom just knocked on his shop door and said, "Hey, my son's drifting. I heard you drifted as well. Do you think you could help us out?" And he just said, "Yeah, sure." And ever since, we've just been always in the shop together, just working on drift cars.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big leap for him, I want to say, and us, because I would not be where I am today without him.
So did you have the purple BMW before that car then, or?
So I test drove the FRS before I bought the E36. And at the time, Taka's fastest car was a IS with a 1.5 JZ, I believe.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized I needed something a little bit faster, but I don't want a full-blown pro drift car just yet. So I bought the purple E36, and I just have been completely re-going through everything. And funny enough, I actually bought that car and test drove it at the Gauntlet about,
oh, really?
I want to say about like a year and a half ago. And I've just been rebuilding it.
So you've still got that car now?
Yes, we actually just put the Wisefab V2 kit on it, on the front.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's like the seat time car then?
Yeah, pretty much. I wanted to do Riverside this weekend, but unfortunately, we just couldn't tie everything together with FD and the FRS. We just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's an insane schedule to have like literally no time off. And then I saw a post today, and it was like, 2 weeks until St. Louis, and I'm like, oh my God, I just got home.
Yeah, it's like I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Are you doing much planning, or is like the team kind of handling the logistics of it? Where are you at? Like, what's your level of commitment?
Go to every race that pops up, but I haven't really scheduled anything. It's like I scheduled FD, of course,
right?
But I never really scheduled anything. I kind of just forgot to. It just never came up.
That's all right. So do you have anything else like on the books for this year, or is that pretty much it?
Obviously, FD. I would like to do the second round of Riverside. I'm doing Catch My Drift. I think I might be doing Winter Jam at the end of the year. And then just kind of whatever else pops up.
Try and like fill in some more East 10 stuff if possible. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's good. I mean, a lot of phenomenal drivers that come out of that program too. Like it's like a blessing and a curse for you because like you did pretty well there, but like you go and look at like the driver lineup and you're like, oh my God, there's like champions, there's guys in pro, there's like everything.
Yeah, East 10 was wild, especially for my first tandem experience. It did good.
Did you? So I guess like how did that work? Did you just jump right into it, or did you? It seemed like you just kind of went like, I like drifting now. Like dirt bikes are cool, but like I want to drift now.
Yeah, pretty much. I got into drifting, or I don't know, starting from the beginning. I broke my collarbone.
You can do long story. This whole idea is long story, right?
So I broke my collarbone racing enduro in 2019 Father's Day weekend, and I was bed rested for 9 months. So I had nothing else to do but sit on my phone, watch Instagram, TikTok, and I stumbled upon James Dean's video of him ripping the 2J Eurofighter, and I just instantly fell in love with drifting. It's just like, yo, what is this? Like, I need to, like, how do I do this? So we just kind of made a plan from there, and it made sense.
I mean, none of this actually makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
But I know what you're saying.
I suck at describing things, but it's like, I always had like racing in my past. So after I broke my collarbone, I wanted to do something in a car. So I did a little bit of rally, a little bit of drag racing, road racing. And then I found Taka and Yoshi like June, August of 21. And I just fell in love with drifting.
That's a lot of shit in a very short period of time, right? Because like 5-6 years ago, you're taking motocross lessons from Aaron Lampy, and then now you're trying all these other things, and then it's like, oh, cool, drifting, and then that's been 2 years, 3 years.
Drifting just it's about to hit 2 years, I think.
Yeah, that's dude, that's insane. Like 2 years of drifting, and you win a pro, arguably one of the most difficult ProSpec rounds to win because it's solely based off of basically proximity. Yeah,
I had to come back from Red Atlanta. That was a hard pill to swallow, but
little rough.
Yeah.
Do you want to walk me through that weekend? Like what happened in there?
Basically the transmission just blew up. So yeah,
cool.
I was about to shift it back into fourth, coming out of the keyhole, and it just locked me out. I've never been locked out of the dog box like that. And we took it over to RTS, and he said, yeah, you got used parts. Everything just kind of exploded. Like, oh, that's nice. And it was a brand new dog box I bought. I won't say who I bought it from, but I paid a hefty amount of money for a brand new dog box, so I don't have to worry about anything breaking for FD.
Turns out it wasn't.
Yep. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we got the redemption, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, obviously coming back and doing that. I will say in Atlanta, I was sitting with Greg from CoraWorks. Shouts out Greg. I absolutely love that human being. Him and I were sitting kind of in that little spectator at the top of the keyhole, and you had just done your burnout, and he like smacks me. You know how like energetic he gets, right? He's smacking me like 8 times. He's like, watch this, watch this, watch this. And I'm like, watch what? He's like, watch this kid. And I'm like, okay. And I watched the run. I was like, huh, shit, okay. Like, you can put a run together. Like, that was solid. And I'm like, who is this kid? He's like, you're going to be watching this kid, I guarantee. And like, he's just going and going. I'm like, how long's this kid been driving? He's like, not even 2 years. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like immediately, he's like, this kid's a ripper. He's going to be banging doors. He's going to be beaten in paint, for the rest of the year. And I'm like, okay, Greg, calm down. And literally after you won, I text him and I was like, okay, you called it. And he's like, I told you. So yeah, you got a good dude in your corner with Greg. That's for sure.
I love Greg. Yeah. He was actually the one that kind of pushed me to upgrade the FRS even more because we were on all of Pro-Am. We were on basically custom-made angle kits. We were on a Tomei two-way super diff in the back.
Okay.
So he was the one that pushed me to spend more money on the car and put Wisefab, quick change, all of that. But the car is just
peer pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, but the car rips. It's such a fun car to drive. It's so easy to drive, and it worked out.
What's the build out on it now? Like, what's the engine? Like, what do you have?
Pretty much the same engine as it was in 2014. Only thing that I've really done was Wisefab, quick change. We did the Wegner 2-belt setup, and we just kind of took weight out of the car, and that's about it.
Nice. Was there anything that had to get reverted back for the ProSpec rules?
Yeah.
Or did you already have like pedals had to go back in and
so we had stock pedals. All we had to do was the link ECU and steering column. That was about it. But we were rushing that because I got let. Yeah, I was let into FD like 4 months prior because I kept. Yeah, that's another story.
I mean, we got time. But how long did it take you from getting the acceptance email to changing your status on Instagram and TikTok to like pro driver?
I think I changed it like a week or two before Atlanta, I want to say.
Okay. So you waited a little bit.
I did.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine recently like got accepted into like a local thing and immediately like on his Instagram like updated to DMCC driver. I was like, oh, come on, man.
It looks better.
It does look better. I mean, it works. I will say some of the most fun I've had in the last couple of weeks was digging through your TikTok.
Yeah.
Buddy, I need a masterclass in what it is like to troll people because you are phenomenal at it.
I don't care to win arguments. I just want to see how mad I can get someone.
But you don't like curse people out. You don't like do anything. You just post stuff very strategically, saying very strategic stuff that just sets the audience off.
Yeah. It's funny.
Is that just your entertaining? Like,
pretty much.
I would call you an advanced to master level shit poster.
Yeah, I'm basically a shit poster.
So what gets more of a reaction, the Mustang content or the Supra content?
Oh, the Supra for sure. Because everyone thought it was stock and it was making like 600 wheel. Yeah, that car was crazy fast.
Here's what I love about it though, is that your first posts on it, you were talking about it being stock. Like you planted the seed early and then just started dropping these little bombs and like videos and then like, it was clear it wasn't, but you kept calling it stock. Like,
yeah, it was funny. Yeah, that car was, it was one of the first Supras to ever get like the pure 800 turbo, flex fuel kit, everything like that. And it was made in Miami. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was taking it to all these Mexico races and just wiping the floor with, just a bolt-on Supra. And it was just such a fast car.
Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic looking car too.
I love it. I want to build a drift car, a Supra drift car. It's my favorite car ever.
Do you like it more than the Mustang? I figured the Mustang had a pretty deep part in your heart there.
Yeah, it was my first car. After the collarbone break, I had to start, getting into cars. So I traded in my truck for it. And yeah, it was my first car. So I was like, I still have attachment issues on it because I love it so much.
I love too that like it was an EcoBoost and just I don't even know if I saw like an under the hood shot or anything, but like I figured you'd be the kind of person too to like go get like take a GT and put EcoBoost badges on it.
I am that type of guy. No, it was a 5.0. I think I have a video where like, cold starting my EcoBoost, and it was just
That
like
was
the
it.
catless downpipes, headers, yeah, exhaust. That was just super loud. It's just obnoxiously loud.
So how did this all start? Like, is this, maybe I'm out of touch. Cause like, I mean, I'm 32, so I'm not like old, but I'm not 20 anymore.
Yeah.
So the culture of like how to interact on the internet is very different than when I was at your age.
Oh man. It's just more jokes, I guess. Like
Okay.
it's like I know how to like act serious, but like for the most part, I'm funny and goofy, and I'm more lighthearted, I want to say. Like I don't take things serious.
Clear.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, one of the funniest things was you would pan from down to up, and it was always the same shot of laceless Yeezys that people would just like lose their minds about. Of all, I had to like hit up a buddy of mine. I'm like, is there something about laceless Yeezys? He's like, well, you could damage them. Like people get real mad if you take the laces out. I'm like, okay, sure.
I didn't even know that. I just never put them back in because I would just wash them. They would get super dirty, and then I would just throw them in the washer. And when I put the laces back in, I mean, they fit fine without them. So,
Oh my God. That's amazing. That's too funny. So it's even like you're just like at this point your trolling has kind of just become inherent and you don't even know that you're doing it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think my most recent TikTok video is just me holding the trophy that I won from ProSpec, and it's just a bunch of shit posts around it. It's like nothing bad, but it's like,
No.
I don't know. I don't take anything too serious.
Well, I think that's what's great about it is you're not attacking anybody. You're not malicious. You're not angry or violent. Like all the negative connotation around shit posting, you've removed. And all that is there is just like jolly trolling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if I can give someone a good chuckle that day, then I'm happy.
What I think is funny is like once you realize that all you're doing is trolling people, the entire scope of your social media changes, right? Because from somebody who takes cars too seriously or takes like money too seriously or culture too seriously, they go in and like I could see how it would be very frustrating. But like it took me about, I don't know, 10 seconds to be like, oh, this dude's just screwing with everybody on here.
Yeah, I mean, look at what I did at the Miata. I wish I got more content of it, but it was always broken. Yeah. So I did that paint specifically because green and purple just does not go well together. But somehow the bronze wheels made it look decent. So I'm like, well, we're this far. Might as well just finish the build. And then it got hit with a hurricane. So
yeah. is what it is. So are you getting like, are you sourcing most of these cars through what your dad does? Or like how are you getting into this?
What do you mean?
Well, like obviously, like they're not cheap cars. You're not an old person.
Oh, okay.
They're
okay.
Yeah, but like also, like I mean, like calling a spade. Like you have the availability to get these vehicles. Your dad's shop is a body shop. There's an import shop next door. Like you have resources nearby to get this stuff.
So I think the easiest way to answer this question is after I kind of graduated from Taka's class and like his whole drifting program, like I still bring him to events obviously because he's just a book of knowledge that I can always use. But I kind of realized like maybe I can, pursue drifting as a career. So I was never going to go to college. My parents wanted me to go to college. I'm like, all right, hear me out. Just I'm asking for your support, basically. Support me for 4 years, what college would be. And we sat down, we made a little contract. If I don't make it in 4 years, I take over the family business.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very fortunate and very thankful for very supporting parents. Like, I could not do anything, obviously, without them.
Well, and this is, and like, don't take this as insensitive. There is always the frustration from people without means or don't have a, whatever you want to call it. If I mean, calling it blankly, the people who don't have some sort of family money, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I apologize if you get uncomfortable with this. I apologize. I understand the situation from both sides, but there's always that frustration. People are like, "Oh, it must be nice, whatever." At the end of the day, we all would do the same thing. So don't bitch that somebody has an availability that you don't. Right.
Yeah, I have just, my DMs are flooded with comments like this. And it's like, well, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's not like I don't do anything. It's like I'm in the shop all day. I'm changing tires, working on the car. I'm always learning. I'm doing something where I can always better myself. It's not like I'm taking many days off, if that makes sense. Like I'm always in the shop doing something, trying to make the cars better, learning stuff. It's like, I don't, dilly-dally, I guess.
Yeah, it's you've taken a situation and an opportunity and you're making the best of it. The fact that like your parents sat you down or you sat your parents down and you have a 4-year contract with what seems like an exit clause of success, like that's a very supportive family, incredibly supportive family. But also somebody who is looking at this from a business mindset of like, okay, yeah, we could put all of this money into college, or we could put into something that they actually, that you actually want to do, right? Like I went to culinary school. Like, don't get me wrong, I can still cook the shit out of a steak, but like my parents spent a bunch of money on chef's coats and knives, and now I get to talk on camera. Like, not that I didn't want to cook, but like it's you have the availability to do the thing that you love to do. And instead of your parents putting you into, some school to do something you don't want to do, they're like, okay, cool. He's going to be passionate about this. He's going to work hard.
Yeah. It's like, if you want something bad enough, like you're going to make it happen. I definitely got more of a like an easy way, I guess, but worlds really just kind of collided for me. Like Ron Eworth living 20 minutes away from my house in the smallest town in Georgia. Like that's just super rare.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It feels more like a, I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like this should work from the universe.
I'm not a religious person by any means, but there are situations that happen where I'm like, man, that's is weird. A little too convenient.
Weird.
Yeah. I've had quite a few of them over the years, and this very much sounds like that, where you're like, huh.
It's
like of all the places you could be living, with all the cars you could own, with all the hobbies you could have, and you're here with that, interested in drifting, and so am I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially just, I try to look at it with Ron's perspective, I guess. And it's like he could have just shut the door in my face, because I test drove his FRS and I went to go buy some piece of shit E36. And then I ask him for help to work on it. And then later down the road, I buy his FRS. But it's like he could have just shut the door in my face and I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, it is weird. Obviously, it's positive. It's good.
Yeah.
We're happy. Like I'm happy. I mean, I got you on the show. You're crushing it. So like it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Do you spend? It seems like you spent most of like your high school days or like earlier days, I guess, in Naples, and then now you're in North Georgia. Or how's that work?
So I was diagnosed with really bad dyslexia. So there's no schools in Florida for it. There was a school in Tampa that I went to, I think it was like 5th through 7th grade, but really no high schools for dyslexia. So we found a boarding school in New York I went to for 3 years. And then my last 11th and 12th grade, 11th grade, I went to another boarding school in Tennessee for it. And then my 12th grade year, I was kind of already starting to pursue my motorsports career. So I just started doing online classes.
Okay. Gotcha. So you didn't, like, I guess you didn't spend all that much time down in Florida?
No, not really.
Interesting.
I'm a poser, Florida boy.
I was just curious. I just now get to like scrap half my notes. That's why I have so many Naples jokes.
I mean, they still affect me, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you still obviously a big fan of pastrami Dan's, so Florida didn't get away from you.
Those sandwiches are killer. They're
What's
nuts.
your order?
Roast beef. I don't like pastrami.
Yeah?
Roast beef's the way to go.
Do you tell them that? Like, I'm assuming you don't, like, hey, I don't like pastrami, but you just order roast beef. Yeah, let me
just get the roast beef instead.
What do you get to drink if they don't have like Sprite cranberry?
Diet Coke. Diet Coke's nice, okay. Or just water.
Yeah. My goal now is to like go and try this, because after finding that place, after seeing your hat in a video and then researching them, I'm like, holy shit, this place looks amazing.
They have super weird hours. Like half of the year they're closed. So it's like, really? You have to go out like certain times of the year.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder why they do that. Maybe like the pastrami is not good during the time of year. Maybe. See, it seems like a family-run place.
Yeah, so. It is. They're good people.
Yeah, that's all good. So, what is if you've got to pick one photo location? Is it going to be Georgia mountains, or is it going to be under Macro Bridge in Naples?
Marco. It's Marco Island.
Marco. Oh, I thought it was Macro. Hey, speaking of dyslexia.
I don't know. Do I get to pick from like anywhere in the United States or where I've been so far?
Let's do that. Yeah. I mean, where is the most picturesque place to get a shot?
Cali.
Yeah.
Cali. Yeah. Those views over there are nuts. I love Cali just for the views. Where 2 hours I can go be drifting at Willow, and then I drive 2 hours and I'm at the beach. So it's a good point. It's pretty nice.
I guess there's a reason why everybody stays there. But
so Cali, I don't know. There's a lot of good spots in Georgia.
Yeah.
I keep them.
I think people like think of Georgia just as Atlanta, and they forget that like the rest of that state is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's a good time. It's still one of my favorite drives. Like going through Tennessee mountains and then kind of dumping out into Georgia. It's phenomenal. Yeah,
there's so many just unknown roads where you can just go crazy.
Yeah, just go disappear.
Yeah, yeah, Mexico roads actually.
Yes, Mexico roads. Yeah, it's crazy how the Mexican border creeps up that far.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. So what do you got? I guess like what do you got planned for the car and this year, and like any changes coming up, or just kind of stick with what you know?
No changes. Just door everyone. It's my only goal. It's just doors. I just want to see how close I can get to people.
Is that your? I guess like your focus is the chase more than the lead?
Yeah, my leads suck. Like if you look at me in practice, like I'm very good at following the other driver. Okay. But my leads, they take a second to get used to.
Why is that, do you think?
I don't know. Like I love what we had in Atlanta. We had the Wednesday practice. So I could try my best Wednesday, and then I can see what the pros are doing, and then it actually makes sense of what I'm supposed to do, and then I can go do it before qualifying. I don't really get that on Thursday practice and then qualify. Yeah.
I don't think we have that in St. Louis either.
St. Louis, we don't. Utah, we do.
Right, because we have the time limits based on sunset, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that affects you. I mean, obviously it didn't affect you that much in New Jersey, but
if you look at my practice runs, they were pretty scuffed because like it felt like we were having car issues, but I think it was just me kind of reacting to just different pavements and different asphalt to concrete and all of that weird stuff. But then I watched the pro practice, and it just kind of made sense of where I need to let off throttle, where I need to pick up throttle, where I can slow down, all of that. It's like something you can't really get on a YouTube video. You have to experience and hear it in real life.
Mm-hmm. Were you lifting off in like outer two where it transitions between the pavements?
I was trying to keep it as wide for as long as I could, and then just kind of clutch work and get around it as fast as I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen a couple of different, I guess, like modalities of how to handle that. Like a few guys that where the cars were really bouncy, you could hear them lift slightly when they had to transition from like the concrete to the asphalt. Yeah. And it seemed to like keep the car settled more.
Yeah, if you enter in Outerzone 2 as close to the wall as you can, then it kind of sets yourself up good for the whole rest of the arc. So your initiation is just key, basically.
Yeah, I know Dimitri was talking about that when we chatted at New Jersey. He's like, yeah, you like the way you have to initiate into that. And I mean, obviously we saw with Adam LZ, who just took a wild man's approach.
He's insane. He was driving that thing like no one else has ever seen. Like his driving is crazy. Like he wanted it badly. Like you could tell in top 32, like he wanted that win.
Yeah. I'm like nothing to take away from him at all, but I don't know if there's anybody in FD that has had more seat time on that layout. Dimitri Brutsky might be the only other person that's driven that layout that many times.
Home court advantage.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like I said, nothing taken away, because also like the fact that he like gapped James Dean out of the hole, just dude, I was what is happening right now? Like
I was in the stands watching it with my crew, and we just looked at each other like, no way that just happened. Like that's insane.
Yeah. Almost went out due to cone hits, but other than that.
Yeah, he went off track and he didn't look like he was stopping.
Yeah, it was a wild event. So like what goes through your head during an event? Like what are you a calm person? You get freaked out? You get anxious? What's your head like?
I'm pretty much calm. If I'm in the car, I'm pretty much calm. I don't really get nervous. Not before top 32, not before qualifying. Quiet is better, in my opinion. Like, no one was talking to me. Taka was talking to me on the radio, just saying, okay, you know what to do. Go do it. Like, okay. But everything kind of flowed perfectly. Like, no one was telling me what my air pressure was. So it was go drive the car. Go do it. That's all you need. Just go drive the car.
No one told you what the air pressure. So like you weren't even.
No, it just felt
info.
good. It just felt good.
Huh.
Like if I want change, I'll tell them. But for the most part, if I don't say anything, just keep it the way it is.
What do you change the most in the car?
We've really been working a lot on rebound and compression. Just because it's brand new.
Good track to do that on. Yeah.
It's like our first real coilovers, I want to say. I was running the old Buddy Club coilovers, and you don't get a lot of play in them. So I'm on the Feel 442s, I believe, for the GT86, and they feel incredible.
So what are you, for those that don't know, what are you feeling for, and like what are you asking to be changed?
For the most part, I love a super soft setup. I like bouncing around in the car just because I know where the bumps are in the track. I don't like a really stiff setup. But really just changing the front and rear compression. That's about it. That's all you really need, especially in that chassis. It's already so dialed. In practice, I kept getting a nasty lock in Outerzone 2. So I think we made the compression a little bit softer, and it was fine.
Okay, so like you would feel like too much jarring in the car, like you would hit it and it would bounce too hard, and then you were asking to soften it up?
Yeah, pretty much. So it would compress, I guess it would compress a little bit stiffer, so it would absorb more of a shock going over the concrete than going back over the asphalt. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does.
Yeah, I just, there's so much conversation about adjustments and stuff like that in drifting. And I think the feeling is what gets grazed over. Like people are like, oh, it's doing this, just do that. And the upside with your, for lack of a better term, inexperience is that your brain still has to very much think about these things where like, if I ask these questions to like an Osmo or a Field or something like that, they almost don't even talk about the problem. They just talk about the fix.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I feel like when you're a little bit younger to drifting, all you know is the problem and you may not know what the fix is, right?
Yeah. And for the most part, I'm a very adaptable driver, I want to say. So even if I'm having a problem, I'm still just going to drive. I'm still just going to push through it. I mean, I'm not going to just sit there and complain about a problem. I'm just still going to go try and drive to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's obviously good, but I think there's also that place of like,
okay, like we can make it feel better, but I'm like, it feels fine.
And I could literally hear you being screamed at, like, fine isn't okay, perfect is what we want. Like, okay. What, was there any battles in New Jersey you were worried about or excited about?
Casey. I love that battle.
Yeah.
We have so many hours together on the sim, especially on New Jersey. So I'm like, all right, I can really push it to you. And I'm not going to, get any mind games with you. Like, I know what you're going to do. Like, you're going to keep it at 100% the whole way around the track. I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a big mindset boost when you have that much confidence in the other driver.
Yeah, I don't think no one else I drove with before. So it's like, I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm trusting you. So we both don't total our cars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Casey's, he's already totaled the car. I mean, arguably, it wasn't really his fault, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, drama in Formula Drift? No.
What do you mean?
No, there's no drama
we
whatsoever.
We all love each other. We're one big happy family.
Super supportive of every team and every decision that they make.
Oh, yeah. Protests? Never heard of them.
No. Did you, obviously, it's not, not your topic, but like you saw the Denofa videos.
Of course.
What did you think when you saw that? You don't have to agree with one side or the other. I'm not going to force you to do that.
I don't agree with any side. Denofa reacted. Okay. I don't know. That's really my only take was Denofa reacted. It was obviously really funny. It blew up. But I don't know. I think when you come with that big of a fan base, you can ruin someone's life like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Stookie, all of them are getting just harassed right now, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's also pretty, it's not funny, but it's like, I think Denofa blowing up was more funny about that.
His reaction, I know what you mean, is funny.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is a very overabundant, I'm choosing my words so carefully right now, it was a very overabundant expression of feelings and thoughts.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like the his fans' reactions afterwards is what's not acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, right? Denofa fans are going to stick with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, don't go after, because of Denofa's frustration, that doesn't mean you have permission to attack somebody else.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's a weird situation.
We navigated those waters pretty well.
I think so. Next topic.
I think so. Okay. I know the amount of people that like hit me up like, what are your thoughts on this? I'm like, no comment. I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting it. Let's let the dust settle, and then I will touch on it at some point. But
I mean, yeah, Casey and Stookie both came up to me after the top 32 battle. They're cool people. I've never met Denofa, but I'm sure he's good. He's good-hearted.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, everybody
Everyone gets
loses
mad.
their shit.
Yeah.
What's funny though is no one's talking about Dean Carney and Kazuya Taguchi. Like any other event, that would have been like top line news, but it obviously got very much overshadowed. I even feel bad for LZ in a few ways where it's like, you just won this event and like, that's not the topic of discussion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think LZ winning was pretty huge. I didn't really see any of that going on against Dean and Taguchi.
I was right there. I was shadowing Lorette for top 32. Like just kind of like, you know, if you go back and watch the live stream, you'll see my little hat floating around every once in a while. But oh yeah, they were screaming at each other. It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Dean was like, you know, like, I mean, Kazuya's not a tall human. So like, and Dean kind of is. Like he's like leaned over him just screaming at him. Because he was like, why are you mad at me? I'm supposed to be mad at you. You hit me. Like
FD drama. Yeah, I feel like once you get to the pro level, everyone cares a lot more. Obviously.
Yeah, I think it is ProSpec a little more like everybody bands together. Like there's still drama, but like I don't know if there's as much.
I don't know anyone, so it's like I don't know if you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, you don't like me. I don't really care either way.
You're just not out there making friends. You're kind of a shy guy, so
yeah, I just kind of stick to my trailer. If I don't have to leave, then I won't leave.
I think you said about 3 words to me like before I handed you the microphone. You're like, "Hi, okay." And I'm like, "You got a podcast now?" You're like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, my heart rate in the car is like 90 to like 110, 120. Up on podium, it was like 165.
Were you tracking that?
Yeah.
Like, do you have a Fitbit the whole time?
I'm like,
really?
This is crazy. I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack.
What is interesting is there was that situation brought up something that FD was not prepared for. And there's the fact that you are not 21 years old.
Yeah. But I feel like someone else has won that was underage before.
I don't know.
In Japan.
Brandon. Oh, in Japan for sure.
I can't say his name, but the 13-year-old.
Oh, come on.
Nuh-uh.
You can give it a shot.
You know who I'm talking about. You can say it.
I can't say it either.
No, you'll just put like a picture of him on the screen.
Please, editor, insert photo here with translation. I was thinking Brandon Sorensen would be the only other ones, but I don't
won
know.
Pro 2.
I think so. I
know he won.
I feel bad now.
Yeah,
but
I was trying to find it a couple of days ago, but I thought maybe it was for his Pro 2 license. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because he was like 13 in Pro. Was he like 13 in Pro 2 his first year or something?
I have no clue.
And I think he ran 2 years of Pro 2 and then jumped up. So he was like 15 or 16 when he jumped up. But either way,
I don't want to ask
crazy
him and then not know. I feel bad.
He's got to have you are far too shy. I mean, I shouldn't say you're too shy. Obviously, like it is what it is. I'm not going to tell you to be different. But the world's not that scary, sir. You're allowed to talk to other people.
Nah.
Right now, for the podcast listeners only, we're offering $5 off each ticket purchased on Formula Drift website by using FD Podcast when you check out. That is FD Podcast. I don't know if you need a capital, the FD, but try it either way. So head over to formuladrift.com, pick up the tickets, then enter code FD Podcast, get $5 off all 8 events this year. So 20th season, head over. If you're going, save $5. Might as well. What do you think that is? Like you've got older siblings too, don't you?
Yeah, I have one older sister.
Okay.
I don't know. I was just super introverted. I always have been. I don't know. I don't like to bother anyone. Like
smash their door in, but I'm not going to come over and ask you for a favor.
Yeah, like talking to Greg, he's like, "All right, what do you want? Like, I can help you with anything. Like, what do you want?" I'm like, "I don't know. Wheels would be cool." And he's like, "Okay, cool." Then he helped me get Koenig. Like, oh, okay, thank you. But I'm super introverted.
What a mix, because he is the most extroverted person I know.
It's like a yin and yang. It works out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I'm super shy.
I'm just picturing you together. I could just like see him yelling at people and you just like in the corner like, "Hi, this is me."
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's funny. I mean, to each their own. I mean, maybe that's working better for you because like you're not having to like does the autograph lineup, does that kill you? Like does that give you anxiety, or are you okay with that situation?
That's not bad because the line's pretty much flowing, and also no one knows who I am, so they don't really ask me any questions.
They do now though.
Yeah.
Are you like prepared for this?
Not really.
No?
I would like to sit like in between the pros so like everyone can just skip over me.
You just have to go early to like find that. Just like wait until two pros are separated by one seat and just slide in there, right? Are you obviously like the trajectory that you're on right now? You know, let's say you just keep crushing this, and I really hope you do. But at what point are you going to be uncomfortable with that attention?
I don't know how to describe it. Like if someone walks up to me at my trailer, I feel, you know, we can have a conversation. They'll ask about the car. It's when I have to like display myself. Like I suck at. I can have a conversation with anyone for the most part, but it's really just talk to me about this car. I'm like, it's an FRS. That's about it.
Yeah. So it's like you initiating the conversation is more of the issue?
Yeah, pretty much.
You just need to like teach you one good like icebreaker or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to get Greg to help me with that.
It's definitely a good person to learn from. I feel like there's other guys that are pretty quiet too. And I think maybe it's just a slow thing. Cause like, have you ever really been in a public spotlight like this before?
Never. This was my first time.
Okay. So this is all
brand new.
Like brand new. And like even your social media content, it's not you. You're not speaking in most of them. I think there's like 5 videos that you even show, I think like a half of your face. And then, so this seems to be a pretty constant thing.
Yeah. My crew guys are trying to get me to open up more with a camera and, you know, talk about the event. So we're working on it.
Hopefully this is helping. Is this like, what's your heart rate at now?
I don't have it on. Like, I don't know. This is easy because I'm locked in my shop. And no one else is near me.
There's no one nearby, so it's a little bit easier. That's good. I mean, I get it. I mean, I think maybe I forget sometimes how difficult it can be to be a public-facing person because I've done it most of my life.
Yeah.
And I would assume that your older sister is like, what, like 8 or 9 years older?
She just turned 24. So she's
so not even that much, like 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I turned 20 this year, and I feel like an old man.
Okay. It only gets worse.
Oh, I bet.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah. This is right now, your situation right now is as good as it's going to get. It's only going downhill.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. No, I was curious just because like I know people who are only children that are very much introverts, and people with like older siblings who like they never interacted with them, or you know, like maybe one lived with one parent, one lived with the other. That often you see introverted and quiet people in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, ever since I was little, I don't care about anyone. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I care about obviously the loved ones, but it's like, I don't care what people think about me. I'm just going to do me.
That's good. I mean, that's very liberating, right? And obviously you've dealt with frustration and hate on the internet previously. So like,
it's funny.
Anything that could potentially come up is a cakewalk.
Yeah, it's pretty, I don't know. Especially on the internet, it's pretty funny. I get a lot of hate comments for just being young and a drifter. So I don't know. You gotta laugh at it.
What's the most creative somebody's ever been in a hate comment? Do you have one that sticks out?
Ooh, I have screenshots of some of them just because they make me laugh. I have super curly hair. So like I'll just get like called noodle head boy, all of that. So I don't know, stuff like that's pretty funny.
Where you're like, cool. You're just gonna that's the thing you're gonna pick. You're gonna make fun of my hair. Cool. Do you still like if you take your hat off right now, is there like a giant afro coming out?
I shaved it before New Jersey. So it's like
really? It's
not fully shaved, but like the sides are shaved. It's flat right now because I'm wearing a hat. Yeah, it's
I think you should grow it out. This should become like your entire.
I can have
as somebody
afro.
who's made
Like it goes to
I mean,
an afro. It's wild.
I'm just saying, as somebody who has identified themselves with something that's worn on their head, I think you should do the same.
I'll think about it. I'll let it grow now.
Just think about it. Like you get out of the car, like opening ceremonies, top 16, you take off your helmet and just
I'll think about it.
think of the merch.
Think of the merch.
Oh man, that's so are you what I guess like what are you up to between now and New Jersey? Obviously, like it sounds like nut and bolting the car. Or sorry, St. Louis, thank you.
Yeah, just nut bolting the car, drop the trans, check all the wise fab, go through the motor, stuff like that. Then just keep fixing the E36, make it ready. Have a couple more things to do to it, but both cars are pretty much
Ready to go.
They're still solid.
Are you running St. Louis? Make sure I get that right. In sim right now?
I did a few laps, but that was about it. Nothing too crazy. I'll do like 50 laps before I go to bed, and they have to be perfect laps each time.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like
so. Do you like actually keep count? Like you've got like a little check mark or something?
I'll go until I feel like I can, do it with my eyes closed, kind of.
What if they change the layout on you?
I'm screwed.
I know they're looking at paving more sections. I've been prying like crazy to try and figure out what's changed.
I don't know how they're going to change it unless they go to like a different section of the track. Maybe I don't even know like what the whole track looks like, but
yeah,
I don't know.
The old layout was insane. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, the old layout would be sick.
Yeah, just hard to like fit fans in and stuff like that, and like it was decimating tires. Like it was, and the hard part is like you're finishing so fast, and it was just grass runoff into walls. So like, arguably, it was kind of a dangerous situation as well.
So we have brakes.
Fair. Brakes don't work on grass. I'll tell you that right now.
Turn left to go right, something like that.
Yeah. As a child that grew up on the movie Cars, right? Like turn left to go right. Was Lightning McQueen your biggest inspiration?
He was one of them.
Yeah. Were you always like an automotive and car kid? Like obviously the bike stuff early, but
yeah, for the most part. My grandpa was always into cars. My dad was. So it was just always around my life. So no, it is my life.
Yeah. Did you grow up in a shop at all, or just like there was always just interest?
My dad's shop, but that's about it. And he just does.
Sheds at economy body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pretty much that.
Gotcha. So it's just one of the. I guess like as a kid, you go visit dad at work. You have to go somewhere after school. You're just at the body shop. Are you would you do body work? Like obviously this no. So what's the plan if in 4 years this doesn't work out? You're just gonna do paperwork?
Make it work out. That's my only goal. Like I know how to do some body work stuff, but I suck at it. It's like I don't know. I don't like it. I'm making drifting work out.
I think welders get like all the credit, and like nobody gives credit to any other part of body work.
Yeah, my whole front and rear bumper, I brought it to him, and he just made it look like new again. And I need to bring it to him now because it's destroyed. But body work is a work of art.
Yeah, it's a completely different discipline that like no one talks about how difficult it is. Yeah. I've got one friend that does body work, Ryan. Anyways, I know he listens, so he'd be like, yeah. But like him and I've talked about it on numerous occasions, and I'm like, actually, sorry, I have two friends that do body work. Shit. I forgot about the other one. But it's such a tedious job, like,
Yeah, especially with...
I'm thinking about all the friends that have that do body work because there's more than two.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the aim game body kit, like the fact that they could just put it back together like new is insane.
Yeah. Is it a carbon fiberglass kit? What's it made of?
Bondo now.
Touche, sir. Touche.
For the most part, it's just fiberglass.
Okay. Yeah, and the way you're driving, I feel like they're going to have to repair that a few times.
Yeah, that front bumper is pretty destroyed.
You just have no shame enduring people, though, huh?
No, it's my only goal. I don't want to play conservative, I guess, and then it not being enough to win the battle. I would rather just give it my all, and whatever happens, happens. I mean, we're both there to obviously win, but I'm just going to see how close I can get. If it's a top 32 battle, if it's the final battle, I'm still going to be as close as I can.
Just run the same game no matter what. Is there any concern? Like, I know, I understand and respect the feeling of like, I'm going to go out on my shield, but like, that's not worked out for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think it's just all who you're up against. I know the people, for the most part, I knew the people I was going up against. I knew how some people drive, and I knew I had to kind of stay back for some drivers, and I knew I could just, push their door in on some.
Who's your spotter right now?
Taka.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. If you have somebody in your ear, then that's not too bad. So what does he give you? Like, obviously Casey's an easy one, but like anybody else, like what notes are you going over? Are you going over any videos? Like, what's your research like before that battle?
For the most part, there's not a lot of new ProSpec drivers. And if there is, I kind of already drove with them from East 10 or Sonoma, stuff like that. But for the most part, just watch the old videos from last year, see how they drive, see how they initiate. But that's really about it.
Is it mostly the initiation that you're looking at? Because like that could really, like if somebody does a feint or just a straight in e-brake, like obviously that's your game plan changes quickly.
Yeah. So at New Jersey, Taka told me that Nate Chen really goes out and does like a nasty flick. And then when I went to go battle him, I'm like, oh, whoa, you really cut in front of me. I'm like, I didn't expect that. And it was just a nasty initiation.
So that heads up, I guess, is enough for you to be like, hey, I need to stay back. Like, I can't get side by side with this guy going up into the run up.
Yeah, for the most part. It's all about the initiation, I think. If you can kind of understand how most drivers initiate, which there's only like 3 styles of initiation, you're pretty much dialed from there.
Yeah, Nate does have a massive.
They look good. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
I just
great.
didn't
He's
expect
an incredibly talented driver.
Yeah, he's such a good driver, but I just didn't expect it to happen.
Yeah, like it's one of those where like you were warned, but you didn't realize like how big it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a clip. For sure. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. Okay. So what is your entry style? I guess.
It's like a hydro mix of little flick, little weight transfer, something that looks a little stylish, but yeah, it's still a straight line initiation. It's just not a super big flick. I'm not a huge fan to do them.
It adds another element. It adds another thing to go wrong too.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And like, by no means am I a talented driver. But like, for me, I'm like, why would you add another movement before the movement you need to make? But for some guys, I think it's a timing thing that like they need to unsettle the car to then get it in.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, if you're strapped in your car, you're part of the car. Some drivers can just feel it and understand it. Other drivers have to kind of look at where they want to initiate, then go from there, I think. So it's like a feel versus look thing, in my opinion.
Of all the pro drivers, what would you say your driving style matches the best?
Ooh, I don't know. I try to be like a mixture of like the top 3 drivers, in my opinion.
Okay.
Dean, Chelsea, Osbo, a flow of those drivers. And I think I'm doing a decent job about that.
I mean, you've won a quarter of the event. Yeah. So like,
there's only 4 rounds.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you got to use percentages, man. They sound better.
I guess.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think it's easy to try and idolize those guys too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
is if you like, obviously you talked about James Dean influencing you. Has that been like that's the guy that you're looking up to, following, inspired to be?
kind of. His videos, his YouTube videos are very informative, I guess. Especially watching someone's handwork and feetwork all in like the same video is so much. And if you can study that and then do it in a car, then you're pretty much winning already. But it's just understanding how doing this does that.
Are you watching like a lot of these videos in your free time then?
Yeah, for the most part. It's either just videos of the next round, or it's handwork videos, or it's my handwork on the sim, stuff like that.
Okay. What is your biggest critique for your driving right now then? Like, what's the thing you're trying to work on the most?
Less handbrake. If I can do like the whole track with like 2 tugs of the handbrake, then I feel pretty good.
Do you think drivers rely on that as a crutch too much?
Yeah, but then again, it's your safety stick. So if someone spins out in front of you, or if you spin out, then you can use it to save your car and save yourself from the other driver of getting hit, or vice versa.
I've never heard anybody call it a safety stick before.
Really?
I am stealing that though. Yeah, I've never heard somebody say
That's
that.
a safety stick.
That's a safety stick. Do you have any other fun names for the pedals in the car?
No, I kind of just make it up as I go.
That's fair, man. If you say it with confidence, no one will question
It works.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do agree that like the handbrake can be an issue. I think the other one, I haven't seen any of your in-car footage. You should post more of that. The one I see a lot is like hover hands, where people don't make like a definitive decision to do something in the car. They're like, a hand will always be just like kind of floating, or same thing with feet. Like you'll see it where like right foot will be mashed, and then you'll see the left foot kind of just like floating back and forth. And you're like, hey, like I get that you're trying to be prepared, but like the hesitancy is what's actually causing the issue.
Yeah, I definitely suffer from that a lot, just because the safety stick is so fun to grab. That sounds bad, but it's like it's hesitation, I guess. Like you obviously, every transition you want to tug it, because it's going to, like, you know what the car's going to do, and you know how to set the car with the handbrake. But if you can set the car without handbrake and still be on throttle, kind of like Peter and Dean do, then it makes the driving look so much better from outside of the car, if that makes sense.
Well, and it's faster too. Like, not that we're trying to really get away from people, but obviously it helps. Like if you're going to take a transition, I mean, James talked about it with Irwindale, where like that one, touch and go or clip or whatever it is,
inner one,
doing that in full throttle. So like, that's very different than a lot of guys who come off throttle, e-brake quick, and then get back in. Like you can make up 8 to 10 feet really quick by just staying on throttle through that.
Yeah. It's just knowing your car, knowing what it's going to do.
Yeah. Are you happy with this chassis, or are you already kind of looking at like, okay, this is great, but...
I mean, the Pupra is always my dream chassis. I want to build a Pupra drift car. I think it would be a fun chassis to learn and experience, drift setup on.
Would you do supercharged LS with that as well?
Probably, just because I've never seen one. I think every HGK Supra or any Supra just has a B58 or a 2J in it. So it'd be cool to be the first to put an LS in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, what did Ken have in his? Wasn't a B series, wasn't a B58. Didn't he have like a weird...
It's probably a GTR motor.
VR,
something like that, most likely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember it being something different. I mean, I know he's got something interesting in there now too, because it has a very, very unique sound. Which like people are like, oh, I don't like it. I'm like, look, I just like anything different. Like I don't care what it is. I just don't want an LS or 2J sound.
Yeah, if you can be a little different, that's cool. But then being different is very expensive. GTR motors, all of that. It's like another...
And no one
nightmare.
has spares.
Yeah, like what Forsberg is dealing with. I think he went through
Right.
2 blocks already, I want to say, something like that this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
I mean, if you got that Nissan money, I think it's worth it.
I guess. I wouldn't know.
So on that note, like if you had to pick somebody to be sponsored by, who would you pick?
I don't know. There's so many good sponsors nowadays where any title sponsor would be cool. I love the boys at CoreWorks, but a cool title sponsor, Monster, anything like that, RTR,
like a big
Papa, Rockstar, yeah. Stuff like that would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, like CoreWorks is great, but like you know that the funding caps out at a very different level than where a Monster or Red Bull does. Yeah, Greg's not rolling in it, but
I guess.
I guess. I will say his event recaps are probably the thing I look forward to the most.
I love them. Like, why even watch the FD event? No, I'm kidding.
Don't need to. You got 1 minute of just Greg yelling into a tiny microphone.
It's worth it. They're funny videos 100%. And they're all, true.
Part of me wants them to be longer form. But I'm also like, I think there's such a beauty in how short they are that if that was 5 minutes, I'd probably get tired.
Yeah. Like 120 seconds would be nice.
Yeah.
Especially
maybe 2 minutes.
Events like this where there's so much action-packed stuff in one event, like a 120-second video would be worth it.
I like to because he's not rehearsing any of it. That's like a one take.
It's just all one takes. It's insane. Like they do like 3 notes, but that's it. It's he just does everything off of his head.
He is a wild man. I think that I like you said a big title sponsor. I figured you'd like roll into TikTok and stuff. I mean, do you have? I guess like at what point? I don't want you to stop shit posting. Don't get me wrong, but like at what point do you think you have to get like serious about that game? Like, would you just open another account and be like, "Hey, here's my shit posting account. Here's my racing account."
Did you see my profile pictures before?
A few of them.
I changed those. They were like monkeys and cats before, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I probably need to change it to myself. I guess it's time.
Has anybody talked to you about it? Like, yeah,
a lot of people. I'm like, fine. If I do well, I'll change it. But if I keep getting knocked out of top 32, I'm not going to change it.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I mean, I don't want you to stop being you at all. And like, that's the issue, right? Where it's like, people like you for you and what you do, but that's not brand safe, if you will.
Yeah, it's like, you need to be at like, I would like to be at like a corporate level, but I can still get away with a lot of things and sponsors don't care. So far, it's pretty nice.
I think if you just align yourself with the right people, like, I mean, like you'd be perfect for like Pit Viper, right? Like it works. It's that fits, your quote unquote brand, right? Or like, there'd be, I don't know, like a meme place of some kind. Like I maybe if Vine came back, like that would be a perfect sponsor for you. Or something.
Pretty much. I think that's why I work so well with CoreWorks. Is because like
the silliness.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, we take things serious, but for the most part, we're all level-headed. Like we're all goofy.
Yeah, I think you could do it though. I really do. Like, it's just a matter of finding the brand that matches your energy, if you will.
Yeah, it's like if I have to drive like a corporate-looking car, I'm fine with that. But it's like, I don't know. I still want to be myself at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think the moment you have to stop being yourself, like it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. It's like I already try not to cause any drama, like especially in the pits, stuff like that. I don't care. Like I don't talk to anyone. But I feel like if, there is a bad crash one day, I feel like I'm definitely getting blown up on the internet.
Does the Denofa situation like give you pause about that then? Like, is that one of those you saw that and you're like, shit, that could have been me?
no, because I would still just laugh about it. If you're coming over to my pit to talk shit about me, I'm winning. That's my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, Denofa is a driver and he always has been. But I don't know. If yours it's a really weird situation.
We don't have to like go into that one, but is it one of those? I know we came back to it. Is it one of those like, I'm now getting you to take time out of your day to come here to do this?
Yeah, I guess. But
like let's removing the Denofa situation, but like kind of going back towards the trolling, like is that like the feeling you get out of it is like, haha, made you react?
So my goal is like, I don't want to troll someone and, make them feel bad. I don't want to bring, negativity towards them per se. I want to troll about the whole situation. So everyone's getting the same amount of hate, I guess. It's like,
it like neutralizes it,
basically.
Right?
So it's like, I'm just going to joke about the situation more than I place sides. Even if your side is right, I'm still going to joke about the whole thing.
And I mean, really, most of these, minus a few very crazy things, most serious situations as a society, we end up joking about a couple years after anyway.
Not even. Yeah.
I mean, not even while it's happening. Look at the sub situation.
Ocean Gate, yeah.
They literally named that themselves. But like, am I happy that people died?
No. Obviously not.
Obviously not.
That's terrible.
But the fact that like the amount of humor that came out of that situation.
A lot of memes.
Buddy.
Yeah.
So, not since Pokemon Go has the world been this united around one cause.
That's a good take. That's a good take right there.
I don't know the last time that like we've had a situation that we could all just vent and like be positive about when it was
a bad situation always has a positive outcome.
Yeah, even if it's just meme humor.
Yeah, it still counts.
Yeah. It's a very, you have a kind of a refreshing take on it because you're inviting negativity, but like only looking at it in a positive light.
Yeah.
So now I'm just curious what's going to happen, knock on wood, if something actually shit happens to you, where like even the Miata and the Hurricane, though, you lost an incredible car and you're still making jokes about it because like, what else do you do, right?
You have to look at the bigger picture in life. For the most part, everything can be replaced except life. So it's like, even though something did blow up out of proportion, everything's still going to be calmed in the end, I want to say.
It'll all come back around, right? Like, yeah, this too shall pass. Yeah. Huh. It's refreshing, man. I'm somebody who goes out of their way not to cause any sort of drama on the internet. Right. I'm the complete opposite of you. And that's why I'm so fascinated by it.
It's like, I'll cause a little, but then I'll try and like tone it down if it gets like too bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. Something to do too.
Yeah. Where it's like, I don't know, especially for me, it's really hard to like get me going. Like I'm a very level-headed person. So it's like, you can't really get me too angry or too mad or anything like that, too happy.
But as a driver, like that's a huge positive.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not going to get flared up in the car because of a situation. You're like, okay, well, next thing. Right?
Yeah, on the drive to the ceremony with Andy was driving the golf cart. Brewski was on the back. Andy was on the back. And Andy just looks at me. It's like, why aren't you smiling right now? Like, why aren't you happy? Like, you just won your first round, your second round of FD. Like, why aren't you showing any emotion? I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think it took until you were like there with the trophy. Like, is that when it kind of hit you?
It hit me a little bit right there. Like, okay, I won, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I care. It's cool and all, but I just want to drive my car as much as possible, and the only way you drive your car as much as possible is if you win. So
that is a solid point.
I just want to drive my car.
You get the most amount of battles.
Yeah.
You get the most amount of battles if you make it to the finals.
I just want to drive my car and hopefully drive it for free one day.
Do you find that this happens to you a lot? Like not truly appreciating a situation until, because that's how I am. Like, and it's very hard to explain to people. Like, it didn't hit me that I had a kid until my son's first birthday. It took an entire year for me to actually be like, oh shit, he's not going anywhere. This is mine.
Yeah.
Like,
you got him for like 17 more years.
I was standing with my dad and like, I kind of like looked at my dad. I'm like, that's my son. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, like that one's mine. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, he's not going anywhere. He's like, not if you do everything right. And I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, did it just hit you? I'm like, yep. It took an entire year to the day for me to accept. Not accept. That's the wrong word. But you know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it'll hit later, but I just want to drive my car.
Have you done anything with the trophy? Like, did you?
It's right. It's
got it
above me right now on my little mail shelf. I can't really show you.
It's fine. We know what it looks like. It's carbon fiber, about yay big. Stinks of old champagne.
Yeah. And Rockstar.
Rockstar in your case. Yeah. Did you drink out of it?
It doesn't open.
Oh,
it's the,
right.
Like,
yeah, it's not
big
the
ones.
open
Yeah,
ones.
it's not like the couple one like the pro drivers get.
They need to do that. They need to make it open.
Yeah, Simon Olsen
in there.
posted his trophy. I said, your trophy looks a lot cooler than mine. Can we switch?
Did he accept? No.
Those trophies look cooler in my opinion. It's like a big cup. But
yeah, like the open, like the fluted one, right? Yeah. And you can drink out of it. That's great. You could have drank out of your shoe. I mean, that seems to be what everyone's doing now.
That's an old shoe.
I'm going to find you something. Maybe it's your hat or something. They do funnels out of your hat.
Yeah, the bucket hat.
Right. I forgot you got the bucket hat. And you wear that non-ironically. You were a fan of the bucket hat?
Yeah. When I won my license, I was wearing a bucket hat, so might as well just bring it back.
Yes, lean into the headwear, man. I'm telling you right now.
The only event I didn't wear it was when I had car issues at Catch My Drift and round 1 Atlanta.
Are you superstitious?
I'm not,
like, is
but
this what
it's
you're
kind of
getting
like, I don't know. Maybe I need to start wearing it.
I think so. I mean, there are multiple people that have been known. Ken Gucci for his visor. I mean, this is a common trend. I don't know why people are so, hard on me about the teal toque thing. Like, hey, I'm not the first. I won't be the last. So I think you need to rock the bucket hat from now on.
I think so.
I'll get you stickers printed. If you can promise me that you're going to wear that at every round, I will get you little, you tell me what bucket hat you buy. And then like, I got little toques made as stickers. I don't know if I gave you one.
You did.
I will go get those made for you.
Okay. Deal.
All right, cool. You send me what hat it is and then we'll do that. It'll
Deal.
be like the battle of the hats. So what round coming up are you most excited for?
Utah.
Obviously only 2 left.
Utah.
Yeah, Utah.
I was cooking at the Road Atlanta during practice. I was flying down that hill. I just want to see how fast I can go at Utah.
Any predictions? Do you think you can break over 100?
I don't know if this is right, but looking back at the GoPro footage in Road Atlanta, I was hitting like high 108.
I can believe that. Yeah.
Because I had no wheel speed going up to the initiation. So I just did it from where the RPM is, then tire size, all of that. So it calculated to like 108. So it was around there.
I know some pros definitely in that level. And depending on how, like, as long as you're not spinning the wheels off the line, they're like, it just comes down to the wheel spin.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Utah definitely over 110. I think it'd be cool to hit 110.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. I still I feel like a broken record. I keep pushing them to do it backwards. I'd love to see that layout backwards.
That would be interesting. I think it would be...
Start with the big bank.
Yeah.
It's not a bank. Like, start with that big corner. And, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to scrub a bunch of speed. And I'm like, look how much speed you scrub in Utah now.
Yeah.
Why not start the run with the biggest corner and end on the shortest corner?
I think it would flow about the same. I don't think it would be a big difference, in my opinion.
I just don't want to have to walk all the way out to hot pits anymore. I guess you wouldn't have been, did you attend any event before FD? Like, were you ever at an FD event before?
FD 2020, I went to Red Atlanta with my mom.
Okay.
And we watched, I think, top 16 up until like top 4. Then we left because she had a broken foot at the time.
Didn't want to fight traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my first ever FD event. That was my only FD. That was my only FD event I've ever attended, was one. Then the rest of them were me driving.
You're a wild case. Yeah. That is for sure. You do not meet the normal criteria of being this good at this sport, which is awesome, which I'm so happy to see.
Yeah.
You're like, I know, I get it.
I try and be humble.
So if you got your pro license, would you make that jump or would you do another year?
I would probably make the jump. Hope for the best.
Yeah. Just go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the only way you can do it nowadays. I think ProSpec to pro is such a big jump. Like, hats off to Robert Thorne for doing it, because it's such a big jump where I don't think a ProSpec car, I know a ProSpec car cannot hang with pro cars nowadays. Like, I think it's such a big jump.
I mean, a lot of it's just, I was trying to, who the hell was I talking to about it? It was somebody who made the jump recently, but it wasn't Robert Thorne. And they're talking about like, the biggest difference is like, you have to be perfect in lead and chase.
Yeah.
Like there is no having one spot you need to work on. Everything needs to be excellent all the time.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, leads and chases are completely different, but if you can get your lead down, your chase is going to be fine. It's just getting that lead lap down. And it's so hard because everyone will line up in the lead line and no one will be in chase. So I just did a bunch of chases at New Jersey.
It paid off. I would argue to say you won that event on your chase.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that your leads were bad. Like there were a couple of guys that I do think like had a better lead than you did. But the fact that you just were a shadow on all of them the entire run, and the timing of your transitions between 1 and 2 is probably what shocked me the most. Like you had some very high level anticipation as to when and how to transition.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you looking for anything in that, or like what do you owe that to?
Rome Charpentier really helped me out with that. I did like a tandem drift day with Rome and Taka, and it was just a whole day of just actually learning how to tandem and not, just kind of throwing myself out in Pro-Am and tandeming with someone, I guess. So that day with Rome really, really, really helped.
He is a scary good driver too.
He's like such a good driver.
He is one of, if I try to like get people into drifting or like to show people like, hey, if you really put everything into it, here's a success story to look at. Rome is probably it.
Yeah. I think it was a practice in St. Louis. It was him and Osbo, and Osbo was chasing him, and his transitions at St. Louis was just perfect. And it was just such a good lead lap by Rome, and it was such a good chase lap by Osbo, where it looked like a final battle. So it's like, I want to be that good one day.
Those moments are like magical.
Yeah.
Like to watch that where it looks like the two drivers are almost sharing a brain. Like that's the only way I can explain it. Like that's what the finals look like is two drivers sharing a brain.
It's like watching Warhouse drive together back in the day.
Dude. I literally got goosebumps thinking about it. Just in that, like as soon as because it was like that was. I don't want to say like that was the best we've ever seen, because I would say there's been better battles since. But holy shit, for 3 years, man, we were spoiled.
Yeah, that was like, I just go back and watch because I wasn't like, I didn't know of drifting at the time. So I never got to like truly experience it as it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go back and rewatch all of the old videos, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it was I feel like an old man. It was a wild time back then. Like,
Yeah.
I try not to say old man shit, but it comes out. Like, I can't help it. I don't know what it is. Telling you, you cross 30 and just like things come out of your mouth where you don't even know that you're old. And I know at 30 I'm not that old, but like there is very much a gap between you and I. I'm just gonna put that right there. So you're like, yeah, old man. Have fun with your knees. Like,
I know. I turned 20 the 5th of September, so a few weeks before Utah, and I'm dreading it.
That's fine. Is there like a younger drinking age anywhere in the States where you can start drinking at 20?
Only Canada, really. Canada and Mexico.
19. Come on up, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me know. You make it to Detroit, I'll get you the rest of the way.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, one of my crew guys is from Calgary, I believe.
Oh, really?
So I fly him in and out.
Damn. That's a hike for sure. That's real Canada. Like, I'm in bitch Canada. Like, that's real Canada.
Yeah, he sends me a photo and he's like in the middle of the woods. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's funny. I'm curious. I'm gonna have to stop in and say hi and speak some Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else you want to cover, talk about? We just did like an hour and a half. I don't even know if you realized that.
I didn't. I don't know. That's really about it.
Yeah. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to, or are you just like, nah, I owe it all to me?
No, I'm kidding. Obviously, parents, Kona, CoreWorks, people like that. My crew guys are awesome. I met all of my crew guys on the sim, actually. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
so the one
sick.
from Canada, one was actually not too far from me in Atlanta. Then the other one was actually in my hometown in Naples, Florida. It's just, I randomly found those guys. It's like, whoa, that's weird. Like, it's way too weird.
Yeah, it's funny. Same thing, man. Like, going back to it, it's weird how shit lines up. So, cool. And then where can everybody follow you? I'll put links down in the
just at Cole Richards
description
with
stuff.
a Z.
Yes, of course.
The S was taken.
Have to put the Z in there.
Yeah,
was it?
I wanted the S. It would have been perfect, but it was taken.
Let's find him. And
I emailed or I DM'd him and he didn't respond back. So
you don't want none of that Cole Richards. You want. Well, I heard bad things about that.
Yo, not me.
Nah, you're good. Cool, man. Well, I'm glad we got to do this. Congratulations once again. Hopefully it hits you soon and you can appreciate it a bit more. Hopefully this gives you like some, media training, get you out of your bubble a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to be shy around me. Feel free to stop me. That'll be your goal. If you see me in St. Louis, you can stop in.
I'll
and
just say hi and leave. Yeah.
Just wave and run
that's
away.
what I do.
Yeah.
I just then I just walk away.
Cool. Well, I'll make sure to stop by the pits, meet you, and spend a little bit more time than just throwing a box at your face and say, hey, get ready for a podcast.
For sure.
So cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening and or watching. Thanks again, Cole, for coming on. I do think there's going to be some fun clips out of this. That's for sure. It's always my favorite part. I don't even cut the clips. Kyle, our editor, does it. And I'm shocked as to what I say most of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Thanks again for everybody for listening and watching. Let us know who you want to have on next. Is there anybody who should I interview? You tell me. Is there anybody you want to see?
You did Turk.
I did.
You didn't do Rome yet.
No, him and I've been talking. We're scheming a little bit. So we're trying to pair it up with some cool shit going on. I don't want to blow up his spot. So it may not come out till later in the season, but that is specifically due to strategy. So
I think Rome and Odie would be cool.
I very much want to have Odie on. I've had a lot of conversations with him, so I think that'd be
Dylan was cool. I like that podcast a lot.
It was so much fun, dude. He was so cool. Yeah, but cool. Yeah. I will. I have the next one already booked. We're recording that on Monday. So that one's filled in. And then I think that puts me
2 weeks from now?
basically right before St. Louis.
Yeah.
So Odie's going to have to wait a couple weeks.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Odie. Yeah, I know. Right. Who am I to think that like, yeah, okay, Odie, yeah, you're going to have to wait a bit. But cool. Well, thanks again, dude. Thanks everybody for listening and or watching. Let us know in wherever you see this comment. Let me know who you want to have on next. I will try and take a poll. Maybe we'll actually do something with that information, or I'll ignore it completely. One of the two. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know how else to end this. Anything else from you? Or are you good?
I'm good.
Cool. All right. We'll talk to everybody soon.